Hi everyone, this is Into the Light with Louise. I wanted to come on today and talk to you a little bit about forgiveness. And what I wanted to do is really share a story about my own forgiveness journey so that hopefully I can help you through your forgiveness journey. So years ago, when I was 9 years old, a man broke into my house and molested me. And throughout my life, I thought I had resolved those feelings, right? I went through my own kind of forgiveness journey and unpacking my backpack, and that was one of the things that I had to go back and visit. And I journaled. So, journaled about my feelings about my mom leaving me alone, home alone, the journaling about, the person that broke in, journaling just how I felt, the whole nine. And one of the other things I did is I journaled about how this person, what must have happened to this person in order for him to do what he did. Now, I didn't know this at the time. I found this out much later, but he was a teenager. So as a 9-year-old little girl, I thought he was an adult, but later I found out that he was only somewhere between 15 and 17 himself. So one of the things I did is visual meditation. So I visualized, what this young person must have gone through, his own hurt, his own trauma. What would make somebody actually go out into a neighborhood, pick a house, break into it, and do what he did to me? It just kind of baffles my mind because, as we know, most people that are molested by people they know. And I'm kind of the rarity in this case because it was somebody I didn't know. So I worked through that, or so I thought. And one of the things that I am now learning to love, I don't always love them as quickly, but one of the things I'm learning to love is a trigger, because triggers are opportunities for teaching. So I was in a store recently, right before Christmas. I was in a store with my friend and we were shopping. And I come across a guy who was pushing his daughter, I believe, in a stroller. Now, she was probably somewhere 5, 6, somewhere in that neighborhood. And she was asleep and she was fully exposed. So I immediately get these feelings of fear and anxiety and that hot rush that comes over you. I immediately felt panicked, right? I just felt panicked. And so I asked my friend, I said, I need you to go over and take a look. And is that little girl really go look? And so she's looking at me all bewildered, like, what are you talking about? So she goes over and she sees what I'm talking about. And she's like, yep, that little girl is exposed. And I was like, great. So, man, it was rough. I'm like realizing, okay, I need to go over to this man and I need to basically tell him that his daughter's exposed. But what's going on in my head is I have all this fear because I'm thinking I'm going to have a confrontation. This guy's a pedophile. How do you not know? What kind of guy takes his daughter out of the house with no underwear on, right? So all these judgment thoughts are just coming at me. So I collect myself the best possible way I could at this point. Now, remind you, I am not collected. I go over, I tap him on the shoulder, and I say, excuse me, your daughter's fully exposed. And he immediately acted the right way. He covered her up, thanked me for coming over. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And once I saw all of that, then I decided to run. Basically, I got out of there as quickly as I could because I was so uncomfortable that I just couldn't stand being near him or in the situation. So that bothered me for several weeks afterward because I realized that I still had some unresolved issues that I had to work through. And so in my own meditation and preparing prayer time, I pressed in and realized that sometimes triggers are absolutely teaching opportunities to remind us or to bring to the surface things that we're still needing to resolve. And the biggest thing I needed to resolve is to realize that I am not that little girl anymore. And those feelings were simply really it was just a trigger. So I started to say to myself, I'm not that little girl. I don't have fear. I am bold. I am courageous. I've worked through this. I can talk about it and not get wrapped up in emotion. I don't have fear around, the situation anymore. But that particular day in the store, I just feel that it was an opportunity for me to really understand and to see that this thing that I had held on to, that really it was time to just fully let it go. This was almost like the last thing, right? I came face to face again with that, that kind of ugly thing that happened. And this time it was pure emotion. It wasn't me journaling or writing or meditating on. This time it was raw, pure emotion. And I was able to get in touch with those emotions, and I was able to work through them. And now I understand that I'm not a victim, and nothing that happens to us defines us. Yes, I had a situation that happened, and I decided that that situation was not going to weigh me down. And I worked through it, and I continued to work through it. And then I had this opportunity that is crazy. I mean, think about it. How many times have you been in a store and had something like that happen? So I feel like it was a godsend for me. I'm glad I, told the man and all that, but I just feel that forgiveness is so important. And sometimes we need reminders on the things that we forget about so that we can remember and we can work through and we can step into our power. Because at the end of the day, forgiveness also equals power. When you forgive, you walk into your full power. So my goal is to make sure that you walk into your full power. I want to see everybody delivered from their unforgiveness, that hurt, that shame, that stress, that isolation, the depression, the suicide. No more. No more. I'm so done with it. Aren't you? Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? So this is my testimony for today. I hope it gave you some encouragement. My goal is to continue to share testimony, to give teachings, and to connect with you. So again, my name is Laura Louise. My company is Into the Light with Laura Louise. Check me out on Facebook, Into the Light with Laura Louise. And I look forward to getting to know some of you even better. Mwah.